Yeah, it was a really fun weekend. I think anytime you can beat a in-state opponent, feels special, and especially last year they got the best of us. So it's really turned into a great rivalry between the two programs, and I think our team really wanted to start out strong and prove something against them, especially after the way we played against them last year. And they're an exceptional team, so to be able to put four past them was a great day. And the best part about it was the way that we scored was pretty clinical, and it's been things that we're working on that's showing up in games. So I think that was rewarding for the players to know that their hard work is paying off. This week we played two teams that are both, I think they're 5-1 and 4-1-1, something like that.
5-1-1 and then 6-0-1.
Okay, so very, very good starts for both of those programs too, and it's always tough to go play in California. But two more games that we're excited about, and our last two chances to really make sure that we're firing on all cylinders going into our conference season.
I mean, kind of on that note, I mean, obviously, the start's been great for y'all, but with this being your last, few games before conference starts, is there anything else that you kind of hope to see out of your squad before you get into conference?
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's a lot that we still want to improve on. I think one of the things that we really focus on is the process, not the outcome. And I think if you get that part right, then hopefully things pay off. But we're still really working on our possession in the middle third. We want to be better defending at the end of games. Like, we still get we let the game get too spread out. We want to increase pressure on the ball and not let that happen towards the end of the game. And then I think there's still moments the very first moment after kickoff, New Mexico State came charging down the field, and we made a mistake in the box that could have been costly. So just making sure that we're tuned in those areas of the game that tend to be pretty critical. So yeah, lots of things that we still want to work on and make sure that we're better at when we get into conference.
Can you just speak to the depth that you have right now and how satisfied you are with it, and kind of is this kind of your last opportunity to really set the lineup before you get into conference play?
Yeah, I mean, the only way to get experience is to play, and I think we have a lot of players that are playing big minutes right now that are highly experienced, and you can see it. They don't get rattled in kind of the high pressure situations. And then we have a lot of players playing right now that have not played big minutes, and you can see them kind of trying to find their way. So some of those players are definitely, the more they play now, that you start to see them kind of finding their personality and showing that a little bit more on the field, which is exciting. But at this point, I think we started one senior. So we're still quite young in terms of age, but we want to get, as many players as we can getting high minutes so that they feel comfortable being themselves on the field. That's the ultimate goal.
And then lastly from me, can you just talk about, both teams that you're playing this weekend, kind of what you're expecting out of them?
Yeah, they're both really high quality teams. And I mean, California is just a mecca for soccer, probably for every sport, just based on their population. But some of our best players have come from California. Some of the players leading us right now are from California. And I think the majority of both those teams' rosters are all California players, but they're outstanding teams. They're both off to a hot start. They're both returning a lot of experience, and we go in the underdog, which is exactly where we want to be, go in and test ourselves again.
It wasn't really all that long ago, but right before the season when we talked a little bit about that preseason poll and how up and down the poll you guys must have been voted by the coaches, and people didn't know what to make of you guys. You guys had 2 first place votes, picked 7th. That's just a weird thing. Did you come into this season expecting what happened, or has this surprised you a little bit that you guys have been playing this well, especially with losing, goal scorer and keeper and all that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think that was the biggest concern is when you lose Presley and you lose Callie, who were, key pivotal pieces of what we were doing last season. You have to have players that are going to step up in those positions. But I do think the way that our team has prepared all spring, the way that they kind of recommitted to the things that they knew were important to our program, I knew they were going to show up and fight. And I think anytime that you can do that and you can bring that grit, you give yourself the chance to play. What I've been pleasantly surprised with is just kind of these exceptional performances by people that are really putting in tons of work. I mean, we have every morning, if you want extra touches, you can show up. And I think historically that's maybe 2 or 3 players, sometimes none, which is fine. If they need to sleep in, they need to sleep in. But it's pretty consistently 15, 18 players that are up there getting extra touches and really trying to make sure that they're playing at their highest level. So they are bought into being their best. And I think anytime that you have that, you have a fighting chance to win.
I asked you what you thought about the poll early in the season. Are they trying to prove something related to just the preseason expectations, or is it just kind of prove something every year anyway?
Yeah, our program wants to win. That's the expectation for us. We want to win. We want to win conference championships. And these guys that are kind of leading us right now, they have not. And so I think they feel they've underperformed in terms of where we finished the past couple of years. And yeah, they do have a chip on their shoulder. They want to win. That's always the goal for our program.
Coach, you've shut out your last 3 opponents. I know you mentioned the defense a little bit. Just talk about how good your defense has been overall from a macros point of view, just how you guys have been able to hold your last 3 opponents scoreless.
Yeah, shutting out any opponent is really difficult to do. But our collective defensive effort has been very good. And I think, the great part about soccer is that you're a forward, but you need to defend. You're a defender and you need to attack. Like, it's not singular. So you have to be involved in both sides of it. But I think our team has a clear understanding of what they need to do on both sides of the ball. And then it just comes down to like relentless commitment to do it. And I think it starts from our forwards. I mean, if you watch Nicole Anderson and Savannah Sanchez, they get a lot of credit for the goals they score, but they set a tone for the defensive effort. And then everybody else behind them can clean that up. And I mean, Ashley Moody returns as she was all freshman team last year. We have a lot of players in the back playing with big minutes. I think Fiona Jenkins is really finding her rhythm as a player, and people are starting to say her name, and they should. She's an outstanding player. So that part of it's really exciting. And then you see our goalkeepers now, the more minutes they get, they're kind of getting a little bit more confident in the game, and they're outstanding in training, and it'll transcend. So yeah, clean sheets are always a positive, and I think our team prides ourselves on making sure that we keep those going.
And you mentioned Savannah Sanchez. What do you think of her performance over these past couple weeks, obviously being honored by the Mountain West?
Yeah, soccer's funny, right? Because you could have a defender that probably played the best game of their lives and nobody knows that because it just doesn't always show up in the stats. And one of the great parts for Sav is that some of the things that she does that are special, they do show up in the stats, and she does get on the end of crosses. But what makes Sav special is her training habits, like what she puts in, her energy she puts in. She's unbelievable, and she's really, really committed to that right now. And I think because of that, she's finding the outcome, but her process is unbelievable. So I hope that Sav stays tuned into the things that are making her special, and I know she will. She's not about goals, she's about making sure our team wins. So that part of it's pretty cool to see.
How much do you think she benefited from that redshirt year?
I think Sav would tell you that she wouldn't be playing college soccer right now without the redshirt year. I think she needed it, and that's what you have that year for. So it's players that probably aren't quite ready to completely perform. And unfortunately, in women's soccer, if you play 1 minute of one game, you lose the whole season. So that decision has to be made pretty quickly. Unlike football, where I think you play 7 games. 4, okay. So yeah, it's a quick decision. But Sav knew that she needed to invest in herself and kind of really find her confidence, and she has done that. She's invested in herself and her teammates. So she's reaping the rewards of her intelligent decision. Thanks, guys.